That's right, folks. Back once again with another preview. Looking forward to, of course, Forest taking on Blackburn Rovers at the City Ground. And we'll get to that in just a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. Thank you for your loving. Of course, do appreciate it, guys. But today, we have got a guest on the channel. That's right, Lukey Boy's here. Luke Turton, of course, from his own football channel. Big Forest fan. He's here with me. He's going to talk about the game. Of course, what he hopes, what he expects. So, Luke, for the purpose of this channel, of course, they may not know you, but of course, they should do. Tell them a little bit about yourself and, of course, why on earth you support Forest.
Okay, so I run a channel. I run Turton Football. It started in November last year. Basically covers anything from Prem content to League 2 content. It's going to trail back a little bit this season from last season because I was going totally mental. But yeah, why am I a Forest fan? That is a very big question. I mean, it's not for the success factor. I can tell you that much.
Is it something that's genetics? Has it been followed in your family?
Yeah, we've massive Forest family, so just kind of followed it on.
Cool. So Forest against Rovers on Wednesday. Of course, Rovers okay start to the season. Forest have had a bit of a blip, but what are your expectations for this match, as in regards to like the performance wise? Have you been impressed what you've seen? Have you been a little bit concerned? What is your outlook or outtake on Forest's start to the new campaign?
Well, I'm very concerned in the fact that we've let now two promising positions slip. We were winning against Coventry and conceded 2 goals in the second half, which is always a concern in the Championship when you can't hold on to wins. Then we went behind at the weekend to Bournemouth when we just let David Brooks run free, which you just can't do in the Championship. Cannot be letting wingers drift past you on the far side. I mean, alright, we were playing a right back at left back, but it was a decent choice to play a Tutu at left back because, I mean, you'd be mistaken to think he was a recognised right back. I think with us, we do this kind of 2 defensive midfielders and then an attacking midfielder. And that's always a concern, especially when you're going down against a 10-men side. To still consistently have the 2 defensive midfielders there, that's where I think most of the questions of Chris Hughton are coming in from our fans, because we are very defensive-minded, and we seem to be one of the only teams that play this way. And we don't score enough goals, but we're also conceding a lot of goals as well.
Yeah, well, there is the rumour at the moment that Lyle Taylor might be on his way out. Does that concern you, letting him go?
Not really, because it's not very clicked for Lyle Taylor at Forest. And I mean, we have got Graben. I mean, we are a bit light up front, and we were light up front all of last season, even with Glenn Murray. But I think to go into a new season with no additions and strikers and letting 3 out of our 4 left backs go without replacing one, it's a bit of a concern, because we were kind of left with Gaetan Bong. And no disrespect to Gaetan Bong, but I'm a bit confused how he's become a footballer.
Is there? Because I don't know about the fan base. I know about the Rovers fan base and their situation with our manager. Is there a growing concern about Hughton at Forest, or is he still safe as houses and you wouldn't want to part ways already? What's the vibe with Forest fans with your current manager?
I think it's very 50-50. I think there's a lot of people that are now very kind of like, they're done with Chris Hughton. It's like we've had, if you do this combining across 2 seasons, we've nearly had 50 games under Chris Hughton, and not a lot's really changed. We went into last season off the back of 4 defeats under Lamucci, which was going into the last Blackburn game. We're now off the back of 2 defeats into this season, and we haven't changed a lot style-wise. We've kind of gone for the same managers in the past 4. Karanka, O'Neill, Lamucci, and Hughton. I've doubled up there. But I mean, I just don't see if you minimize our wide plays, there isn't a lot going for us.
Right, right. So what do you expect from Forest transfer wise as the season transfer window comes to a close at the back end of this month? Do you expect them to be any inputs or some new additions? I know you guys had Gardner last season, who's got rave reviews from the Man United fan base, of course, as a hot prospect, and you guys had him for a bit. Do you see any other exciting bits of arrivals, maybe loans, any additions?
I see I see a few additions. I think the rumours around four more to come in. I mean, I'd say that must be left back, centre back, central midfield, and a striker. Then again, we have been linked with Morgan Rogers. He was at the game against Bournemouth at the weekend. Then again, it's come out today that he's also been linked with Bournemouth. So, I mean, I think I put in one of the Forest group chats, Morgan Rogers been linked to Bournemouth, then an exploding brain emoji. As in, only we could invite a player to the ground, and he's also been linked with both sides now.
Yeah, that I think those are the names that a lot of the Championship clubs have been linked with. This, he's from City, right? Man City, am I right? The youngster. Yeah. I'm going to take your silence as a yes.
He was formerly at Lincoln.
But he's at City now, Manchester City. All right, is he?
Yeah, he was a Man City youngster, and they loaned him out to Lincoln. He was previously, I think, at West Brom as well.
Right, yeah. So there's about 4 or 5 youngsters at Man City that have been linked with like everybody at in the Championship, and I think even Rovers are in that discussion as well. But I don't think we are going there. I'll be surprised if we do. But So some areas of improvement needed for Forest for the season. Where do you ultimately think you're going to finish? Let's just do this, okay? Because it could go a couple of ways. Where do you think, if Houghton was to stay at charge for the course of the campaign, where you're going to end up at the end of the season?
If Houghton stays in charge and we work on the basis of we get players where we need players, then I'd say my aim's between 7th and 10th. Because I still don't think, even with our style of play, we're going to be anywhere close to promotion, because we don't play a way that I believe that gets promotion.
Okay, let's just say then, because doubt if it does, because I think Forest, their hierarchy, do listen to the fans a little bit in regards to managers and things like that, and if things aren't working out, they're gonna pull the trigger. So let's just say this form, which has started off pretty bad in the league, continues into the month of September, maybe October, and then they decide to let loose, and then someone else comes in. I don't know who else would. I'm sure there'll be a handful, quite a few applicants, because Forest is a lovely club. But if they were to change the manager, do you anticipate a better season than 7 to 10 with somebody else, or do you still believe that Houghton will eventually get you there?
Well, here's the bold call, right? If Houghton loses against Rovers, I can see Forest do something very kind of similar to what it did when we lost to Bristol City, and to pull the trigger then.
Well, sorry.
We've got Dane Murphy in now from Barnsley, right. And he lets his feelings very well known if things are going wrong. And I think Marinakis, the owner, has been very poorly advised on what style of play works to get out of the Championship. And, I mean, there's not a lot of the old guard type managers that are now that successful, right. And I think it's because that style of play has gone out now. It's more, you have to kind of match the other team attacking wise, and it was evident the style of play change between our cup game, which we won, and the 2 league games which we've lost. We had a load of our academy players playing against Bradford, and they were one-touch passing. They made team players like Cafu look like Cafu. And it's because they're coached by Andy Reid, our former winger, and he's a new and up-and-coming manager who plays this one-touch attacking play, and it worked. Bradford, for the most part, couldn't handle it when we did that. We just ran out of gas in the second half, like we did against Coventry. But I don't know. I think we will change it if it gets much close to the Derby game, because I mean we play Derby at the end of the month, and if we go into that off 4 defeats, I mean that's like last season all over again.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now, because that would, if your form hasn't picked up and that game goes the way it shouldn't go, that could be prime firing material for any manager, because it's an international break. You got couple 10 days, something like that, between the next game. So maybe Houghton has a little bit of a worry to think about heading into this. But who do you got after with Rovers? I think you've got who have you got next after that? After Rovers, you got Stoke away. Okay, team news. Give me your team news for the midweek match. Do you expect many changes, or just run them through from goalkeeper to your striker or your forward or whatever?
All right. Well, personally, if we're saying what I think he should do, I think we should play the American keeper Horvath in goal, because Samba's made 2 calamitous errors in 2 games, and I think the American keeper's not done a lot wrong to not gain a start now. I can see us still playing Gabriel at right back, because we still need to play Asai Tutu at left back, because Bong's out for 3 games suspended for the violent conduct against Coventry. That was laughable. The one player you wanted you to not be able to pick got suspended. I can see us keeping an unchanged back line, actually, because Figueiredo and McKenna, I think at the minute, are only 2 fit centre-backs. I don't know how close Joe Worrell is currently, because I've not seen Houghton's comments on the press conference. Whether he does that today, whether he does that tomorrow, I'm not sure. So that could see Worrell on the bench. I don't. It's a game it's probably too soon to see him come back. Midfield-wise, we'll still set up with Colback and Yates. We've done it for the past 2 games. I'd like Fornal to start, but I can't see it happening. Maybe starts Carvalho ahead of Johnson. Again, doubt it, but I'd like to see that. Zinkernagel and, I mean, probably Myton, because Lolly doesn't seem to get through 2 games in the space of a short space of time. But then again, Lolly coming off the bench is better than no Lolly at all. So don't cross your fingers too much, Dirk.
I'm always hopeful.
And I could see Lewis Graben starting this game, because he came on at the back end of the last game, so he's obviously fit. So starting against Rovers, Lyle Taylor's not been that impressive. He's done a lot of running and a lot of slide tackling, but apart from that, not a lot else. And I mean, you get that from your defensive midfielders, so you don't need it from your striker.
All right then. What do you hope for? What's your scoreline prediction for the week, the midweek match then between Forest and Rovers? What you got?
Well, I'll give you 2. I'll give you what I hope for, and I'll give you what I think is going to happen. I hope for a 2-1 Forest win.
Okay.
But I reckon it'll be a 2-1 Blackburn win. Purely for the fact that the last 2 scores have been 2-1 to the opposition team winning. So
yeah. Well, I will bite your hand off for the second one on that one. What we've got for you today as we look forward to this zinger. It is Forest, it is Rovers, it is Wednesday. I don't know, I might be able to do a watch along on this one. We'll see. I've got work to juggle. But be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out Luke's channel, Luke Turton Football. I will stick a link in the old description down below, so make sure you check that out. He doesn't just cover Forest, he covers a lot of stuff. He does put a lot of hard work in there. One of the hardest working guys out there. So do appreciate him asking me to come by. So give him some love over there. Make sure you go check that bad boy football yet. But again, give the videos a love and smash that subscribe. I'll see you soon for the next one. Until then, we're done. That's it. We're done, Luke. We are done. I've got to get going. I've got a lot more.